mate. What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
No more time for second chances. No more steps for these old dances. We're all out of words. We're all out of time. Truth is heavy, but the fault's not mine.
We're standing in the wreckage of a broken vow. The silence louder than the shouting somehow. The clock hands spinning, but the moment won't bend. We're out of beginnings, this feels like the end.
Burn the bridge and watched it glow. No turning back, the winds won't blow. The silence thick, it fills the air. We're stranded here, but I don't care. No more time for second chances. No more steps for these old dances. We're all out of words, we're all out of time. The truth is heavy, but the fault's not mine.
Promises are fragile like glass in a storm. You dropped it again, it's become the norm. Every excuse is a thread you can't sew. The seams are bursting, it's time to let go.
No more time for second chances. No more steps for these old dances. We're all out of words, we're all out of time. The truth is heavy, but the fault's not mine. You held the cards, but dropped them all. A house of lies began to fall. Promises made, but none were true. I gave my all, but not to you. No more time for second chances. No more steps for these old dances. We're all out of words, we're all out of time. The truth is heavy, but the fault's not mine. No more time for second chances. No more steps for these old dances. We're all out of words, we're all out of time. The truth is heavy, but the fault's not mine.
We'll drift apart like leaves in streams, chasing shadows, chasing dreams. No map to guide, no stars to see, just echoes left of you and me.
No more time for second chances. No more steps for these old dances. We're all out of words, we're all out of time. The truth is heavy, but the fault's not mine.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Today is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. We're in the 20s. We're in 20s. August 20th, 2025. We are moving along just about in September. Right around the corner is Labor Day. Then comes Halloween. Then comes Thanksgiving. Then comes Christmas. Then comes the new year. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
The year is moving along very, very quickly. So hopefully everyone is on track. Everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing so that we can win. We can run it up. I am Tickle Trout. We are engineered to win. Or as some may say, I do my very, very best to annoy you to success. Yes. And I'm excited about that. So we're going to be continuing working on our N8N workflow. I'm thinking about something, right? Because I think what we can do, we can piece certain, instead of trying to do one big bang, right? Let's try to lower our scope a little bit so that we can say, all right, let's get the part where it's going to go through let's do a simple part see if you can go through the documentation or create documentation from GitHub. So go through all the files to create documentation. And then once we get that part working, then we can say, all right, now I want to add the part about like you have external documentation, maybe a PDF file or something. Go through the PDF file and combine the documentation. So if we take a more simplistic approach to breaking out the different aspects of our workflow and then bringing it together closer to the end, maybe we'll get even better results, and maybe it'll help us go a little bit faster. So we're going to today, we're going to go into Manus. We're going to ask Manus to just give us the part where it's going to go through each file in the repo and to generate the documentation based on that. Then we can go into all right, now that we have that part working, we're going to take some other sorts of documentation and combine it so that we can have one big, beautiful documentation. Before we jump into that, quick announcements real quick. We have quick announcements real quick. All right. Anyways, quicker announcements. At noon Eastern time today, we're going to be premiering software explorations, concept and overviews. We're going to be looking at Amazon's new agentic IDE called Kiro. I've seen in the review, it's compared to Cursor, Windsurf, those type of tools. I have personally not used Windsurf or Cursor, but I did take a look at Amazon Kiro. So we're going to review that together, watch the video to see what it's offering, read through the documentation, and we'll go from there. But that is at noon Eastern time. Looking forward to seeing you there. Join the conversation. Let's talk, let's chat, all of that good stuff. Tomorrow night, we're going to be going live with our cybersecurity night. We're going to be working on our web app scanner application, our web app scanner application that we're building so that we can pass in a website information about it and have it scanned through the website, give us details. What are the security risks? We're working on that. We should be able to get back to that tomorrow as we continue going through our cybersecurity course, our ethical hacking course, showing the power of using AI with these different courses and concepts that we're learning, bringing it all together. As I said last night, when we were working on our DevOps application or DevOps infrastructure for the engineering metrics dashboard, we did Terraform, right? We learned Terraform last year. Then we went into building out the Docker image, where we ended up getting an error. We're going to continue on that on Sunday, but we learned about Docker images, Docker containers, deploying them. We've used Amazon ECS. So all of those things, all those concepts that we learned over the years, it's a very, very slow process. There's no quick gratification. The quick gratification that we get is the very, very small aspect that we're working on. We see it work in the moment. Great. But that's honestly just like making a jump shot in a game, hitting a single, maybe hitting a home run, but it doesn't mean you won the game just because you hit a home run. So we are here for the long run. We are working thoroughly through all the aspects to learn, to improve our skill set, to improve our resumes, to build interview talking points, all of that good stuff. So that is the goal. That is the plan of what we do here on this channel. If you have a resume, you're not really getting any traction, any interviews, go check out resumeflow.app, upload your resume, get a resume analysis, put in a job description or URL, see how well you compare to the job. Thank you to the sponsors of this stream, Resume Flow. All right. And also techcoach.dev. Join us this coming Saturday for our Vibe Code and Chill session. The sprint review from this past Sunday is being released today at around 10:30. It's going to be posted in the TechCoach Patreon. Go check it out, techcoach.dev. Sign up today. Join in on all the activities, the festivities that we do, live meetups. I record it, put the playback, answering your questions, building prototypes, all of that good stuff. Looking forward to seeing you there. But with that being said, let's just jump into getting to work. Let's get to work, right? So I am going to do a new task on Manus, and I'm going to go over here. And we are going to say, all right, so should I use let me use the existing workflow actually. Let's go to this one. I'm going to use the existing workflow. just so it can build off the existing knowledge that it has. So I'm going to say, can I have a simplified workflow where we are only creating documentation based on all the files in the GitHub repo? I would like to connect to GitHub, have all of the files either retrieved or read and passed into let's pass it into OpenAI for now, so that I can get documentation created based on the actual code in the code base that would explain to new engineers, new QA people, how it works. I would want to start the workflow with a webhook where you can pass your position, your experience level, and your position, your experience level. Let's go with that. Let's keep it simple. Your experience and your position and your experience level, and have the documentation created by OpenAI based on each file in the code base to create comprehensive documentation in an easy to understand way, right? So that would be the simplified goal, right? So I say this is the GitHub URL. So we say you can pass in the GitHub URL your position. Let's do that. So that's what I want to do, right? Let's start with that. Let's go ahead and send that off. And we got over on the X side of the game. Shout out to you. Polar Bear Hunter in the building. Shout out to you. Let's see. Says, big up, Brother Ralph, teaching us knowledge. It is my pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially on X. I'll get people watching on X, but not many actually comments from X. So shout out to you. Appreciate you letting me know that X works.
I appreciate you.
So we have the it's creating our workflow. So I'm trying to keep this workflow simple so that we can take that workflow and then we can add to it. So based on, if we look at what we have already, this is pretty complicated, right? What I suspect is going to keep most of this over here, and it's going to cut off this whole portion of the downloading a PDF from Google Drive and all that. And I want it to get all the files and get all the way to the analyze. So it's going to skip this part. It's going to go analyze GitHub with AI, and then generate the documentation. And then, shoot, I forgot to say that part. So I'll add that later. But if we can get that part to work, I forgot to mention that. So let me say you can. All right. So let's say I want the workflow to end up creating a Google Doc that has the documentation at the end. Also, can you give me each input node by node in text format so I can easily copy and paste to make modifications as necessary? I still want the importable workflow, but I also want a node by node breakdown. Sometimes I repeat myself to AI or to the AI so that it can know that I'm that I'm serious, that I really want this, right? So I'm gonna throw that in there. It should add it to what it's doing. Polar Bear Hunter says, I was trying to get into N8N, but I lack so much knowledge, so your videos help big time. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I'll say this too, I am still learning N8N. I have some workflows that are running basic workflows, but but just being able to get in there every day, make some modifications, and so I'll end up creating a bunch of workflows in pursuit of getting it to work. But you just got to keep going with it. You got to keep at it. Polar Bear Hunter says, my free trial expired as it took me too long to learn. So I'll say this: if you have, and if you don't have, but if you have, let's say you have Docker on your computer. If you don't have Docker, you should install Docker, especially as a developer, as an engineer. And you can go to install the open source version of N8N, so you don't have to use the trial paid, or you don't have to use the paid version or rely on a trial version. You can actually use it locally on your machine. What I ended up doing, because I had it locally running on a Mac Mini for a while, but I wanted to be able to access it from anywhere. So I signed up for DigitalOcean, right? So that I can install N8N on a DigitalOcean droplet, they call it, and I pay $6 a month for my DigitalOcean droplet, where I can host a Docker container, that's what I did. So I just installed N8N on DigitalOcean. So, and I have a video for that from maybe a month or two ago showing how I did that, but that's how I did it. So I was able to save the cost, and all of my data isn't going through the N8N servers as well. So yeah, just a couple of ways that I got around that whole thing. Let's see. All right, so let's continue. So it's creating my workflow. So while it's doing that, let's go here. So yeah, this is good, but it's a little too much. So what I want to do is I want to extract this part over here where it's supposed to be getting the information from GitHub. And then one of the issues that I was unhappy about is that at some point in the code, it's not getting the actual files that I need. That it's not reading the files from GitHub. So maybe what I'll ask Matt to do is, instead of giving me the code with just doing input.json, let's just use the name. You see how it says input.first? How about we just use the exact name of the node that is coming from, so that so it doesn't have any confusion. So let me say, instead of using the format of, can we specifically specify the node name that we are trying to get information from? Because as the workflow goes, it seems to get confused on which node it should be pulling data from, especially if data is coming from multiple nodes. All right, let's do that. Says you're right. Using specific node names with node name.first.json is much more reliable and prevents confusion when data flow from multiple sources. Let me update the node configuration to use explicit node reference instead of input.first.json. So, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. As I am learning about this stuff, I start to pick up on things that don't work well. So then now it's like when I first started using Lovable, right? Outside of the fact that I burned through almost 100 tokens in 2 days, now I'm much more efficient in my prompts, knowing about. So I've worked with databases for years, right? But it wasn't until building my own application on Lovable that I really started to understand the row level security, the remote procedure call, which I'm still not an expert, but I know when it's causing an issue, right? So these tools are like, they're like, you can build really, really good stuff, but you can also learn so much, learning about exponential backoffs and retries and rate limiting and stuff like that. I've been with one of my apps, right? My content creation workflow assistant. I've been it's like I've had issues where it sends a bunch of requests to YouTube, causing my API key to get rate limited. But I wouldn't know about that if I didn't actually explore and experiment and try, you know? So many different good like things that you can learn from that. Polar Bear Hunter says, I have Docker, but I can't get around how to use it correctly. I wanted to run a Jenkins node via Docker, but was too confusing. I will drop inside of your Discord the video that I did when I first set up N8N using Docker. That way you can see, you can like, it's using Docker and Docker Compose up, you should be able to get N8N running within a minute or two, right? It should be pretty easy. And then, so you can definitely get that. Let's see. That sent you an Arena app invite. If you stream there, you can earn and grow. You know what? I read that. I saw that the other day, but then like I got busy. I'm gonna revisit that. Thank you so much for reminding me about that. I'm going to check that out again because I remember it, but then you know how life gets, right? But I'm definitely gonna check that out again. All right, so let's see how our workflow is going. Let me take a look at what it's done so far. Let's see. So we'll import this. So this is going to be the workflow with the references. So let me start cleaning this up. Let's go back to overview. I have like so many different workflows. We still need to get back to our marketing workflow. These right here are active. The posts about boot camps, QA, posting products from the Techo Drops merch, question, controversial post. All right, let's go ahead and go here. And I will call this simplified documentation workflow. Shout out to Harsha. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining the channel. All right. Let's see. How are we doing with this? Okay, let's see. So simplified node configuration. Okay. So this is just the documentation. But that's how I'm using like, I mean, you guys have seen me use Manus plenty of times, but all the tools that I use, they work together. They work together for the greater good. We got my guy Rod Brown in the building. What's good? What's happening, Rod Brown? We will be looking forward towards your live stream tonight, Rod Brown. Hopefully it's not hopefully. I know it is going to be absolute fire. All right. So we'll guys subscribe to Rod Brown's channel. He does fire content. All right. Let's see. All right. So I refined the workflow to use explicit node reference like node name first JSON, ensuring clear, reliable data flow for easier debugging. All right. Can we get our code already? Can we get our code already? Let's see what this one is. This is the JavaScript. That's the one that's going to say what position it should be on. Or not position, but like all the details for it. This is the one that I really want though. So can I get this yet? All right, there we go. Almost done. So creating setup guide and documentation. Let's see how it looks. We might need it to make an update because a lot of times it does not loop through the code, like through the actual code base. And I wanted to get all of the files and tell us, all right, what the hell is this project about? So let's say we're onboarding a new QA engineer, a new DevOps person, a new product owner, a new business analyst or something. They can just go and hit the API or hit a web page that you pass in the GitHub URL and you pass in your position and it tells you, all right, here is what this is all about. All right. So let me see what we have here. We have the workflow. Let's try this one. All right, let's take this one. And I'm going to say, just download, save that. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say file, import from file. All right, so this is the simplified workflow. This is okay. This is much better, much better. So it has a recursive. Okay, let's see. So let's listen for event. Oh, we have an issue. What are our issues? Let's do GPT 4.0 mini. Where's my 4.0 mini? Hold on. We want generate documentation for OpenAI. So we're using an O node. So let me go ahead and OpenAI message model. Fix that real quick. 4.0 mini. And Let's put this here. All right, so there's no text. So let me delete this one. Okay, so now I'm going to go and look for this one right here, model GPT-4, the system context. We're going to be passing in add message system, and the role for the user we're going to pass in this one, and that should be it. Let's go over here. Maybe we have to refresh our credentials. Let me see if I go here, overview, credentials, sign into Google, continue. Okay, we're safe there. And then if we go back to our workflow, and we're good here, select I just put it on the root for now. Get this one. Let's say create a new doc. Put on the root for now, and just call it documentation for now. All right. So everything is set up here. We can go and trigger our event. Copy this, go to Talend. And now what is my request to start the workflow? Got all this already. They should give me a JSON file, or not a JSON request to actually start the workflow. Got that. All right. Let me see. I'm just looking for. All right, there goes the webhook. So let's go and take this right here. And still waiting. All right, cool. It's gonna go here. Drop that in there. Let me put in. I do it like this. Pass this in. Let's say QA engineer. Let's send that. All right, it got its message. Let's go back over here. Cool, we got data coming in through here. Right, position, repo, experience level. Now we are going to go to here, validate inputs, invalid position. Really? You're going to be limiting it to a particular one? Well, let's do this. Let's do QA, because I want to be able to accept pretty much all types, but for now, let's leave it as that. What am I passing in? Position QA engineer, yeah. Invalid position must be engineer, QA, developer, or quality assurance. I mean, I just added QA engineer to it. All right, well, we will. I'll start it over just so for the essence of time. Let's do QA. All right, so we got the GitHub owner, GitHub repo, position, experience level. Next up, what is the validation that it's checking? Let me see. Let's see. Check validation. So validate input first. So left value. What is this? Condition 1 equals true. So if we look at this, output of the data, it's equal to Boolean is true. Then do that. So if it's true, then go to error. Okay, that makes sense. And that would be correct. If it's false, then right, okay, you got that. Combinator and case sensitive true. Type validation strict. So options, ignore case, false, I guess. Type validation. I didn't see a type validation on there. I'll leave it off for now. I'll leave these two off for now. Let's go with that. And now get repository. Let's say we were to move along, error, get repository files. Okay, so now what if we execute that? All right, we got all the files in there. Perfect. Exactly what we want to see. Next up, we have select files for analysis. Let's take a look at, let's see if this is going to get us there. Let's go to execute. And oh, we have all the files selected. Nice. All right, cool. So next up, let's go to check file selection. All right, so now see, and that's why I like when I ask it for give me the detail of the nodes, because sometimes when you're just trying to import, a bunch of stuff isn't there. So we need in here left value, true, and all those stay the same. All those stay the same. File selection error. Okay, so now if we go split files for processing, if we say let's execute that one. Oh snap, we got, all right, we got, okay, we're making progress. We got pluperfective in the building. Isn't it like 5:47 for you over there, pluperfective? That is early. Shout out to you.
I appreciate you.
Shout out to you out there on the West Coast, bright and early. All right, so we have everything. It looks like it's selecting a subset of files. I probably would want it to get a little bit more, but that's fine for now. So fetch file content. Let's do that. So I got the content of every file. Okay, sweet. So far, so good. Let's do process all file content. Sweet. Let's go over here and we are going to check the processing. We'll pass this along. It's true. All right, now we're going to message our model. Sweet. Let's send it. Let's send it. Let's see what we get with that. Pluperfective says, I'm in the Atlantic. Oh, okay. Welcome to the East Coast. Are you traveling or are you just here for whatever reason? Because you are working from the West Coast though, right? All right, so we got some documentation created. I don't think it's enough, but let's continue. Let's go to prepare for Google Docs. Google Docs reference node doesn't really. Let's see. You got all that. So what Google Docs reference node are you talking about? Doc preparation. Reference node does not exist. Oh, I know what's going on. So let's do that. Rename that. So now we should be able to. Cannot read properties of undefined 0. Let's see. Error preparing. Cannot read properties of undefined reading 0. What are we referring to here? So let's see what we have in here. So we have timestamp, repo, position, repo name, documentation for position at character 0 to uppercase, and then slice. Prepare the complete documentation content. AI response is assigned to this. Choices. AI response. JSON. I don't think it's using choices. Let's go to, let's see if I take this off. Ah, there we go. So using choices was the old way that OpenAI used to do it, but they've updated their model so that it doesn't need choices anymore. You can go straight to message. All right, so we have that. Let's continue to, let's take the, this is at the check doc preparation. Okay, we're going to take this right here, and it's going to be Boolean is true. Save that. And now we get to creating our Google Doc. So let's go to let's see. All right, so it has a document that was created. Shout out to that. Next up, let's go and say add content to Google Doc. Let's go ahead and add the content. Content is added. Format final response. Let's see. Okay, so we have that in there. Success response. If we, how did I see the success response? I guess verify that the webhook node respond parameter is set to use respond to webhook node. Let's see. All right, let me go and check out my Google Drive. Huh. So the file was created, but I don't see any documentation in it. It's just an empty file. Let's go back over here. Why was the, oh, I see what happened because I said to create. So if I say update, if I do update and I say with that, and we do insert text of that, so let's say we do that, and let's say we do execute step. And if I was to go to, look at that, we have our documentation. How could I get the, let me see something. How could I get it from markdown to I mean, that's something to figure out. That is something to figure out. But it's a web application designed to support homeschooling communities, specifically focused on providing features like community events, learning management, and group activities. The application aims to create a collaborative environment for educators and students, enabling them to connect through shared resources. Let's see. I mean, this is pretty good, actually. See if I can zoom. Oops. So this is, so, I mean, it created decent documentation. Actually, it's pretty good. Testing and quality assurance guidelines. Sweet. I actually like it. I would probably ask Manus to how to get it from markdown code. So I'm gonna say OpenAI node is delivering the documentation in markdown code. How can I get the Google Docs to use the markdown code provided by, or how, I'm not even going to say Google Docs. Let's not make it specific to Google Docs. How can I get it to use the markdown code provided by OpenAI to show in the Google Doc properly formatted? We have that, and we're going to say, let's do it. And I don't want the workflow to be specific to certain positions. The user should be able to pass in their role, and the documentation is created for them. So it's those things. Also, how can I get it to go through all the code base to explain all the features available? It seems like the generated documentation could be longer to explain more files better. more features associated with the files better? Can we have it break down each component on what it does and where it is used? So that's my ask. Because if we can get some robust documentation, break down the components that are there, explain the pages, then we can have really good documentation. Not have any limitations on your role. But that's how I get started. I do something, get it to work, something basic, get it to work, and then we expound on it. I should have told it not to give me a new workflow, but just give me the. I meant to say that, but don't generate a new workflow. Just tell me the details that I need to update. I'll just sell it right now. Can you let me know what to update? What nodes to update in the current workflow instead of generating an entirely new workflow that would require me to start over. Like, I don't mind it generating the new workflow, but I would also like just use it, like, to be able to implement it in the existing workflow, right? So let's go with, I'll send it. I just don't want it to stop it, but let's see. I'm just gonna send it. I would like it to finish what it's doing, but whatever. Let me identify exactly which nodes need to update in your existing workflow, so it provides specific changes. Yeah, that's what I want. I just want the specific changes. We might be able to get this done in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Polar Bear Hunter says, oh, hold on, let me read this one first. This is what confuses me. I have to get AI to explain the code and how it can be edited. That's what I do. Like, and that's why I'm creating this workflow, because hopefully I see it useful is, let's say you use Lovable or something to generate some code for you. You can pass in your GitHub repo and it can actually break down the code for you so that you can have a better understanding of what's happening. Let me see. Pluperfective says, in Puerto Rico, visiting family. Shout out to you. You have family in Puerto Rico? That's pretty awesome. It says, might go back mid coast when I get the chance. Awesome. Do you miss living in the Midwest? When or where do you like which place is your preference? East Coast, Midwest, West Coast? All right, got that. It says, in the language I have to become familiar with. Makes sense. How do you know what is the right bit of code to grab? I think knowing the right bit of code comes from some experience, also trial and error, reading through it, and like a lot of times I get it wrong and I have to go back and iterate on it. So a big portion of it is actually iterating. A lot of people, they'll prompt or they'll try something, it doesn't work, and they get discouraged and they quit. For me, I embrace failure wholeheartedly, and trying it 1,000 times and you get it to work, and it's a win. Let's see. I guess all the nodes need to be updated. Let me see. All right, so node 15 needs updating. Node 19 needs updating. All right, maybe we won't get this. Maybe we won't get this done in 10 minutes. A little more to do than I was hoping. But it says step 1, update node 2. All right, so we could do this. We could try at least. Update step 1. Step 1, update node 2, validate inputs. Let's change position to row. So let's go to, so change position to row, accept any row. So if we go to step 2, we go to step 2, change position to row, and we say product owner so change position to row and instead of predefined. So let's start the workflow again. Listen for event. And I say product owner send. It's accepted. We go here, execute. It says no. All right, hold on. I change position to row. Ah, okay, there's more positions. Can I just... this is gonna be the... All right, there goes this node to update. Execute. Missing GitHub repo URL. Roll. Ah, okay. Start that again. Send. Execute. Sweet, there we go. So it took product owner. Next up, we are going to update. Node 6, file analysis required. So select files for analysis. Let's go to this one. And we shall execute previous steps. All right. And then next update is going to be generate the documentation with OpenAI. So we got that one. We got this one for the message. All right, let's execute that. Okay. Next, we have update Google Doc. This is prepare Google Docs content. Let's go over there. Prepare Google Docs content. All right, let's wait for that to finish executing. Almost there. We are almost there. That'll be a major, major win. All right, we got that. Let's go over to the next one right here. Got that. Execute. Google Docs cannot read undefined. How do we get around that last time? process generate. Oh, it's because of message. Yep. Choices right there. Boom. Boom. There we go. Sweet. All right. What's next? We got that. Next up, content for Google. Add content to Google Doc. Add content to Google Doc. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. User basic text insertion doesn't apply proper formatting. Update the actions UI parameter. This one I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. Alternative simpler approach if above is too complex. Keep the current configuration, but ensure it uses enhanced content. Use basic text insertion. Is there a view on this that I'm not familiar with? Document. This is for the so for the add content to Google Docs, it's for this one. Is it for? Is there a JSON way to do this? Text, action, insert segment, body. So let me see. Okay, actions. Okay, got you. So we have update, so document ID. So document ID is going to be that. And then action, insert text. Insert text is going to be okay, it's going to be that. Insert text. It's going to be that. And then another action is going to be, what is this action going to be? It's going to be update text style. I don't see the updates text style. Shoot. I don't see that part. I don't see the update. If I did see it, it would be and then, all right, so let's leave that out for now. We'll figure that part out next time, but we can say execute step. You're requesting create Google Doc, should just be ID. All right, there we go. Execute. Got that. And then we need to take this code, update JavaScript code for split files for processing. Is that the final format response? Process split files for processing. Where's that one? References. I don't see this. Oh, didn't we do that? Let me see. Position. Oh, okay. So we got that. Great. Why would they give that to you last? All right. So node 9, node 11. That is process all files. Let's go and get that in. Whoa. You didn't give me the whole code. All right. This would be. All right. So just this right here. Let's go to here. That one is okay. All right. That one. Node 20. Put that. Oops. Guess we'll just drop that up there. Analysis summary. That'd be repository to level. Repository to experience level. That would have copied to the comma. All right, cool. What? That looks weird. Repository, GitHub owner, content data, under analysis summary. All right, so let's go here. And who's defining content data? Okay, so it should be silly. Wait, no, what? It's right there. Let me see. Execute. Let's see what happens. Anyways, while that's happening, let me read the chat real quick, and then we'll get up out of here. Let's see. Pluperfective says Caribbean #1, Midwest #2, Florida #3. #3. Rod Brown says Tech Coach Ralph loves failure. That's a fact. Caribbean because food, culture, and quality of buildings. Steel and concrete, not that cheap. American housing. Midwest because cheaper and working remote. My cost of living is $1K to $1.5K tops. That is true. And Florida because it is similar to the Caribbean, so good enough for the price. This is my father and uncle retiring, so I'll have them teach me to build a house from scratch and start working on my trade skills. Sweet. All right, let me see. We got a little stuck down here for some reason. I don't know what happened over here. I think I just need to change this to roll. Let's do that. Execute. Target audience undefined. Anyways, let's take a look at the documentation, and then we'll get up out of here. And there we have it. There is our documentation. Business value, technology stack, system architecture, data flow, external dependencies. I like it. Deployment. Sweet. I'm gonna try to apply this to a few different repos, and we'll go from there. But it actually came out pretty good. I think we made a lot of progress. Now, what we can do on Monday is connect it to, let's say we have some additional documentation in a PDF file or something. Connect that to it to say, all right, use both sources of information to create this documentation. But yeah, that's it. That is it for today. Hopefully you found that helpful and informative. Quick reminder, noon Eastern time, we're going to be exploring Amazon Kiro. It is the upcoming Amazon Agentic IDE compared to Cursor, Windsurf, whatever else, or Copilot, including Copilot. We'll take a look at it to see what it's about. Is it the real deal? Is it going to be helpful? Tomorrow night we're going to be going live with cybersecurity, working on our web security scanner application. At 10:30, the sprint review from this past Sunday is dropping on techcoachruff.dev, so check it out. Really good stuff. And then this coming Saturday, we're going to be doing a vibe code and chill session at techcoachralph.dev. See you guys over there. It's going to be a Google Meetup. Lots of great conversation, creating prototypes, me working on various applications. I'll even show you the app that I am building for my very own mother. All right, all of that good stuff. Let me see. It says I didn't even know AWS releasing that. It's under like Kiro.dev. AWS owns it, I guess, but it is Kiro.dev. I still need an invite key. Try to get me an invite key. I want to try it out. It's Kiro.dev. From what I see, it's under AWS, or they're promoting it, creating it, all that good stuff. So we're gonna review it. I need a key for it so I can try it out hands-on. But we shall see. Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. You guys have an amazing rest of your Wednesday, rest of your week. It's hump day. It is hump day. We're right there in the middle. Let's make the most of it. Let's go out there and get it. Let's go out there and run it up. That's what we do. That is what we do. Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
Spartans! What is your profession?
I try to live what they let go, away to dreams they'll never know. But a drowning soul can't save the tide, and now I see I must step aside.
I fought till my hands turned to stone, carrying battles that weren't my own. They swore they'd stand but turned away, left me to bleed in the fray.
I held the line as long as I could, fought for the spark they misunderstood. They whispered dreams they'd never choose, said they were in but lived to lose. I can't fight for you no more, knocking on a locked up door. You said you were in but faded out, your silence echoes a deafening shout.
I wanted to see your colors fly, but you clipped your wings and let them die. You crave the fall, not the fight to win, a war within that you let begin.
promises buried under their lies. They wore the crown of fleeting belief, but ran from the throne when it brought grief. Oh,
I tried to carry your weight on my back, but your shadow was a heavy attack. You disappeared when the fire burned high, left me screaming at an empty sky.
I wanted the victory more than they, but you can't chase stars for those who stray. So I lay down the sword and walk away. The battle's lost, they chose decay. I can't fight for you no more, knocking on a locked up door. You said you were in but faded out. Your silence echoes a deafening shout. Oh, they vanish like shadows in the light, fading away when it's time to fight. I reach my hand, they let it fall. I can't catch ghosts, I've given it all.
Oh, they vanish like shadows in the light, fading away when it's time to fight. I reached my hand, they let it fall. I can't catch ghosts, I've